My Blind Spot. Written by Hoppy. Read by Arashi. When it comes to Hubert, there's not many things Ferdinand doesn't notice. They've seen scars and birthmarks. They know Hubert prefers coffee, a pinch of milk, and sometimes a rare motif spice sprinkled atop. Ferdinand even knows that Hubert always stands on Edelgard's right side, one step behind, half a step to her right to be precise. At first, they don't pay too much to that oddity, always keeping it in the back of their head, but never questioning it. It may just be a habit after all. Everyone has those. It isn't until Ferdinand gets the okay to court Hubert, after 2 times of being gently told off, that it becomes an important thing for real. "Stand to my right," Hubert demands, more than once before important political gatherings. Ferdinand never gets to hear a reason, never knows why they have to stand to Hubert's right. They don't mind, but they don't want to know if there's a good reason. There must be something more to it than a habit. If there is, if it's important, they should know. So, they'll make Hubert tell them what all this is about. It shouldn't pose a problem. They're happily courting at the moment, their past turmoil completely behind them. Ferdinand finds in Hubert valuable company, a partner that's both dependable and romantic in the oddest ways. There's something so uniquely charming about it. It pulls Ferdinand right in after they both got over their childish squabbles. And that's exactly why they must know if something were to bother Hubert. They want to be relied on. They want to be there for their love. They want to solve problems that bother Hubert. "Why on the right side?" they ask one afternoon, over a cup of coffee and a foreign board game that they are trying to figure out the rules of with little success. "Why do you need me to stand on your right side ever so often, dearest?" Hubert sighs, pouring more coffee into both their cups and reaching for the pitcher with milk. It isn't right away that an answer comes out. Hubert has often loved to be dramatic in this way. Withholding an answer is so typical, Ferdinand has to smile. They are so smitten. "I trust you," Hubert finally says, gently blowing into the now steaming coffee cup. Nothing else is said. It's like 3 words have to suffice as an explanation. No elaboration. Ferdinand wants to chuckle. "And I trust you. But why? Why not on the Emperor's left?" Ferdinand moved a couple stones around the board, finally getting the hang of the game's rules. "If you had to know," Hubert sighs, leaning forward to be closer to them. One finger points at the eye that's partially covered by black hair. They reach out to brush it aside so they can see the lime green eye underneath. "So, the eye. My left eye is mostly blind. My mother's fault. I stand on the Emperor's right, as you probably know, to keep my functioning eye on her." Ah, it makes sense now, why Hubert always seems to stand, actually, anyone's right, being so suspicious of everything and everyone, always wanting to keep an eye on everything. It must be hard with just one eye, and yet, "Then I'll be your eyes. Or your eye, that is," Ferdinand decides and promises immediately. Anything for their dear, lovely Hubert. And to have that much trust bestowed upon them, it makes them feel warm, like they're trusted with something really important by Hubert for probably the first time ever. And this, they are relied on to guard the Emperor and Hubert's lives both, to react to any threats on their lives. That's something Hubert would not normally trust anyone with. Ferdinand is deeply touched, more so with each passing moment. Needless to say, the board game is all but forgotten in the wake of the sheer trust they've just received. "I'll be counting on you then." Hubert leans back in the chair, as if just now the utmost faith has been placed on Ferdinand, as if the board game is much more important than what was just said. Such nonchalance, honestly. But that's also just as expected. Hubert doesn't want to make a big deal out of affairs like these, so Ferdinand goes along with it, looking back down at the board game as well, engulfed in the scent of coffee and the warmth of Hubert's presence. The topic never comes up again, but from then on, they always stay on their beloved's right side. No matter the occasion, Hubert doesn't have to ask any more. They have the blind spot covered, now and forever.